First one, you have learned about lesson planning, how to frame a lesson. In that, nowadays, the philosophical and psychological approach of lesson planning is constructivism. Earlier, we have given emphasis for behaviorism. Now, we are giving importance for constructivism. Let I know from you that whether you heard about constructivism. Can you say something? Anybody? James, can you tell what do you mean by constructivism?
All right, ma. Good morning to
Yeah.
you, or good afternoon there. When we say constructivism, for them, they
Uh,
believe in the
uh,
psychomotor. They You put one or two together to be able to come out with something. So the
okay.
constructivism have hands-on activities. They do it more hands-on activity.
Okay.
Yes.
So let me see what do we mean by constructivism. You know that as I have already stated, the constructivism is a coming up that is used in the classroom. Hope that the PPT is visible, all of you. Is it
Yes,
visible,
ma.
PPT? Yes, okay.
Yes.
So constructivist approach, that is in the teacher's perspective, we are going to learn. Here you can see the two situations. I request Ola to read the first teacher's statement. Ola, Ola, the first statement you can read.
Hello.
Yes, yes. This statement you can read. This statement.
The statement on the screen.
That the first statement that is on the screen. This
Okay.
one. I have,
I will tell you everything you need to know. Listen
yeah.
carefully. Afterwards, you have to repeat what I explained in the class. You need to memorize the information.
Second one, students' response also you read.
Okay. I will copy your lecture. I will memorize the information. I will reproduce the information.
Okay. Next one, Mohammed. Can you read these two statements, Mohammed?
I need to know what you
Ah,
know. I
ah,
need to understand how you learn. I will help you develop your own understanding.
okay. Response of the student.
I will explain what I know.
Ah,
I will tell you how I learn. I will enter into a dialogue with you to deepen my understanding.
okay. So these are the two situations that we can see in a classroom. The first one, who is among these, which teacher is dominant? Can you tell which teacher is dominant? First situation or second situation? Autocratic in nature. Which teacher is autocratic in nature?
The first question.
Which is
The
a
first one
situation?
is Socrates.
First one.
The first
Correct
one.
answer.
Yeah.
The
Correct
first
answer.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, correct answer. So you can see that here the teacher is telling, I will tell you everything you need to know. So the student's response is, I will copy your lecture. Listen carefully. Afterwards, you have to repeat what I explained in the class. So what the student has to do, the student has to memorize the information. Next, you need to memorize the information. So the student is telling, I will reproduce the information during examination. Whereas in the second case, the teacher is telling, I need to know what you know, because the teacher is going to check the prerequisite of the learner. The student is telling, I will explain what I know. Next, I need to understand how you learn. I will tell how I learn. The teaching style the student is selecting. Next, I will help you to develop your own understanding. Here, the student is telling, I will enter into a dialogue with you to deepen my understanding. So, what is the constructivist definition is that information received is reshaped inside the learner's mind to fit within his or her frame of reference. How does learning occur in constructivism? The learner creates meaning from experience. The mind filters input from the external world to create its own singular version of reality. So, what is happening in the classroom? From the experience of the students, information are created. Next, teachers must start from where the students are to align learning with existing states of mind. So, what is this construct? It is a theory which describes how learning takes place, regardless of whether learners are making use of their experiences to understand a lecture. So, how the learning is take place? Here, the theory of constructivism suggests that learners are constructing knowledge out of their own experiences. So, constructivism, it is a philosophy of learning. It was based on the premise that by reflecting on one's experiences, they form their own understanding in terms of the world. So, the experiences of the learner is important. Now we can see the different types of constructivism. When you look the different types of constructivism, it can be divided into two: psychological constructivism and social constructivism. What is this psychological constructivism? It focuses on the construction of individual knowledge stimulated by the internal cognitive conflict as the learners make an effort to provide solutions to mental disequilibrium. Now, my question is, who has propounded this psychological constructivism? Can you tell the psychologist name? Psychological constructivism. Any of you? There is an internal cognitive conflict. Who stated like that? Ola, can you tell? It was stated by Jean Piaget. Piaget's theory, we can see that it is stated that when the learner acquired a new knowledge, he will try to accommodate the new knowledge with the existing knowledge, and then if the knowledge is completely new, he will assimilate the knowledge. So assimilation and adaptation is taking place in the minds of the learner. Coming to the social constructivism, we can see it views the origin of constructivism of knowledge as being the social intersections of all individuals. So, what is important? Sorry, that the social constructivism was put forward by Vygotsky, Lev L. Vygotsky. The interaction that takes place between individuals not only involves communication, but number of other aspects as well. So these include sharing, comparing, and debating among learners and mentors. So we have seen the types of constructivism, psychological and the social constructivism. Now we will discuss what is this constructivist pedagogy. So this constructivist pedagogy, it leads to the attention to the individual and respect for students' background. And it facilitates group dialogue, introduction of formal domain knowledge into conversation through direct instruction, provide opportunities for students to engage into various tasks, development of students' meta-awareness of their own understandings and learning processes. Can any of you explain the meaning of meta-awareness? Any of you? Meaning of meta-awareness? Kuvuku Peter, can you explain meta-awareness? Kuvuku, are you there? Kuvuku? Or James, are you there? James?
Yes, ma'am, here.
Yeah, meta-awareness.
So when we say mental awareness, my understanding is that what the students knows or what the students has been able to create.
Okay. So here one person's awareness, that person itself is rethinking. This is a term related to metacognition, thinking about thinking. So the student is going to think about their own thinking. Now we will come to the principles of constructivism. What a person knows is not passively received but actively assembled by the learner. The role of learning is to help the individual operate within his or her personal world. That is important principles. Now you can see the power shift to the learner. The learner is at the center and the shift is taking towards the teacher. That is happening in constructivism. Whereas in the traditional classroom behaviorism, the teacher is at the center and the power shift is towards the learner. Next, the learning cycle or 5 E's. We are trying to make a lesson plan based on 5 E. What are the 5 E's? Engage, explore, explain, extend, evaluate. These are the 5 E's. What do you mean by engage? Engage means discover what students know or what they think they know. That is engage. Explore means allow students to compare what they think about with what they are actually observing. So you can see here the students are observing and then they are thinking. Explain. Make conceptual sense of the main ideas within the unit of study. Elaborate. Apply the concepts in new situations. Evaluate. Evaluation of students' conceptual understanding and ability to use skills. So these are the 5 E's of constructivist lesson plan. Now we will explain in detail what are. Anybody else has come? No. Okay. So here we can see that 5 is the engage part. We are going to discuss about the 3 activities. Suggested activity, what the teacher does, what the student does. Suggested activity, demonstration, reading, free write, analyze a graphic organizer, KWL, brainstorming. Now my question is, what do you mean by KWL? Any of you? What do you mean by KWL? Any of you can tell? Or we will see one K, how we will develop. K stands for what you know. W stands for what you want to know. L stands for what you learned. So what you know, Earth is a home for living things. What you want to know, is it a home for living things only? What you learn, no. It is a home for both living and non-living things. Next, Earth consists of different components. What are the components of the Earth? Gases, water, ice, rocks, magma, etc. Gases are there in the atmosphere. What are the gases available in the atmosphere? The gaseous constituents of the atmosphere are nitrogen, oxygen, argon, carbon dioxide, and minute traces of other gases. So life is sustained in human beings and animals because of oxygen. What they want to know, what is needed for plants? Carbon dioxide is needed for plants. Next, what they know, Earth should be conserved and protected. Why it should be protected? They want to know. And they learn that if it is protected, it will affect all human beings. So this is the KWL lesson plan. A free write means giving opportunity to the learners to write their ideas in a free manner. What the teacher does, I request Mohammed to read what the teacher does, this part. Mohammed?
Hmm.
Ah,
Yeah, create interest,
ah,
generate curiosity, raises question, elicit responses that undercover what the student know or what they think about the concept or topic.
okay. Now what the student does. Kuvuku Peter, can you read what the student does? Kuvuku? Are you there, Kuvuku? You are not there. Eh? Okay. Next, I request Mohammed
Minute, I'm
Elias.
driving. Let me get office. I park. I'm on the road. Let me get
Mohammed
office. I
Elias.
park.
No, I cannot hear who is speaking. Austin. Okay. Kavuki Peter, you read this one. What the student does. Ask questions. Can you read?
I want to read.
Yeah. Kavuki Peter, you read this part. Ask questions.
Madam Kauki says he's driving, so someone wants to read.
Okay. Then Mohammed Elias, can you read this part? Mohammed Elias. Okay. James, can you read this part? James.
Okay. All right. So what the student does, ask questions such as, why did this happen? What do I already know about this? What can I find out about this? Shows interest in the topic.
Okay. So these are the duties of the student. And coming to the next E, that is explore. What are the activities? The activities are perform an investigation, read authentic resources to collect information, solve a problem, construct a model. These are the activities. What the teacher does, encourage the students to work together without direct instruction from the teacher, observes and listens to the students as they interact, ask probing questions to redirect the students' investigation when necessary, provides time for students to puzzle through problems. When coming to the student part, we can see that there are a lot of voices coming. Anas, come. Anas,
Hello.
yeah.
Yeah, hello.
Can you read this thing? The students, what the students does? Thinks freely.
Okay. Okay. Thinks freely, but within the limit of activity.
Yeah.
Test prediction and hypothesis. Form new prediction and hypothesis. Try alternatives and discuss with them with others. Record observation and ideas. Suspend judgment.
Okay. So Anas has stated what are the activities the student will do. Next, coming to explain what are the activities there, that is student analysis and explanation, supporting ideas with evidence. I request everybody to mute your mic. Okay? Supporting ideas with evidence, structured questioning, reading and discussion, teacher explanation, thinking skill activities, compare, classify, error analysis. So these are the activities. Coming to the teacher part, we can see that it encourages the students. Everybody kindly mute the mic. Kauki Peter, mute the mic. Mute. Kauki Peter, mute the mic. You are not muting your mic. Kauki Peter, I request you to mute the mic. Okay. So we can see that the teacher encourages the students to explain concepts and definitions in their own words, ask for justification and clarification from students, formally provides definition, explanations, and new labels, uses students' previous experiences as basis for explaining concepts. Coming to the student activity, the student explains possible solutions or answers to others, listens officially to others' explanation, questions others' explanation, listens to and tries to comprehend explanations the teacher offers, refers to previous activities, uses recorded observations in explanation. So these are the teacher's activity. Coming to the extent E, There, the activities are problem solving, decision making, experimental inquiry, think skill activities, compare, classify, and apply. What the teacher does? The teacher expects the students to use formal labels, definitions, and explanations provided previously, encourages the students to apply or extend the concepts and skills in new situations, reminds the students of alternative explanation, refers the students to existing data and evidence, and asks, what do you already know? Why do you think? Next, strategies from explore apply here also. Next, coming to the students' activity, I request Mohammed to read the students' activity. Mohammed, can you read the students' activity? Ah,
Yes, sir.
applies?
Yeah, apply new labels,
Ah,
definitions,
yeah.
explanations, and skills in new but similar situations.
Ah,
Use previous information to ask questions, propose solutions, make decisions, and design experiments.
okay.
Draw reasonable conclusion from evidence, record observation and explanations, check for understanding among peers.
Okay. So here, the extent means we know that the peer activity is an important part that is happening in the extent step. Then comes evaluate. What are the activities here? Any of the above. That is, the above is this one. Any of this activity plus develop a scoring tool or rubric, test, performance assessment, produce a product journal entry portfolio. What do you mean by a rubric? Any of you? What do you mean by a rubric? Rubric is a tool to assess the activity of the learners. There are two types of rubrics, analytical rubric and a holistic rubric. So in the rubrics, various aspects were given, what the student has to do and how the student has to do. And the next part, the journal entry. You know that nowadays the teachers and the students have to keep a reflective journal. They have to enter what is happening in the class, and the portfolio, all the activities of the students are kept in one file in order to assess the learners. Here, the teacher observes the students as they apply new concepts and skills. Now, let us see. Ah, Austin, can you read this part? Austin, what the teacher does? Austin, are you there?
The teacher observe. Yes, please. Please, can you hear me?
Ah, yes, come on. Observes the
The
students.
teacher observes the students as they apply new concepts and skills.
Yes.
The teacher also assesses students' knowledge and or skills. He also looks for evidence that the students have changed their thinking or behaviors. Allows students to access their own learning and group process skills. Asks open-ended questions such as, why do you think? What evidence do you have? What do you know about X? How would you explain X? Thank you.
Okay. Good reading. So here, these open-ended questions reflect the nature of reflective questions. These are not the simple questions. These are in the nature of reflective questions. Coming to the students' activity, I request Suleiman to read the students' activity. Suleiman?
Yes,
Suleiman?
ma.
Ah,
Yes, ma.
answers? Ah, this part. Answers
Okay.
open-ended.
Answers often ended questions by using observations, evidence, and previous accepted explanations. Demonstrate an understanding or knowledge of the concept or skill. evaluate his or her own progress and knowledge, ask related questions that would encourage future investigations.
Okay, so these are the activities the student does. So we have seen the 5 E's of this constructivist lesson plan. When you check in the internet, now there are 12, 16 E's. But this is the basis of the E's, 5 E's. That is engage, explore, explain, extend, evaluate. So the lesson plan that we are making is based on these 5 E's. What are the characteristics of constructivist teaching learning process? We can say it create real world environment. It focus on realistic approaches. Instructor as a coach and analyzer, providing multiple representations on content. Next, what are the common elements of all constructivist teaching strategies? The common element we can see is that students actively participate. Teacher is a facilitator, then it requires deep thinking from students and real world applications. These things are happening in the constructivist teaching strategies. What are the implications of constructivism for instructional design? It provides multiple representations of reality, represent the natural complexity of the real world, focus on knowledge construction, not reproduction. Now, in the traditional classroom, we are giving emphasis for knowledge, we are giving emphasis for reproduction, but in constructivist classroom, the knowledge construction is giving importance. Present authentic tasks, provide real-world case-based learning environment rather than predetermined instructional sequences, foster reflective practice, enable context and content-dependent knowledge construction. Next, support collaborative construction of knowledge through social negotiation. So these are the implications of constructivism. When you look the teacher's role and the student's role, what is in constructivist classroom? The teacher's role to be a facilitator, to guide, give cognitive support, to be open-minded, to assess individually. Whereas student's role takes responsibility for his own learning, learns new ways to learn, uses technology to learn. Next, what are the classroom implications? Prior knowledge influences what and how student learns. What is remembered is largely a function of what was understood to begin with. Then students learn best when they link new information with the related existing ideas. That is, information is forgotten unless integrated into existing schemata. That is the principle stated by Jean Piaget, that the student assimilate and accommodate the new information. Both understanding and memory are driven by meaning. The schemas of students are different from each other and from the teacher. The schema means the mental structure, the thinking process of the students. Learning should occur in the context in which it will be used. So now you can see the constructivist classroom. Constructed, active, reflected, collaborative, inquiry-based, and evolving. These are the features of the constructivist classroom. Now, I request James to read this one. James? James, are you there? Okay, then I request Mohammed to read this part. Mohammed?
Average amount retained through various learning methods.
Okay.
Lecture 5%, reading 10%, audiovisual 20%. Practice by doing 75%, discussion group 50%, demonstration 30%, immediate use of learning 90%.
So this is the average amount retained through various learning methods. These are the various learning methods and the percentage is given. So the highest percentage is upon immediate use of learning. So this is all about the constructivist theoretical approach. Any doubt on this? Any of you? Yeah.
Madam, please, I have a question.
Yeah.
Madam, the percentage that students retain for the various teaching methods, is it was it a research? If it was research, can I get maybe the article to read?
Pardon, I didn't get your question. What thing is?
I am saying that the percentage, the
Percentage.
percentages that you just showed, yes. I was asking that was it taken from a certain research work? If yes, then if you can share the link so that we can read it. Thank you.
Okay. The percentage was given based on the research done in the classroom. So that only this percentage was given. Some research were conducted. That's why this percentage was given like this. In that, learning by doing, that is the last part. Learning by doing has the highest percentage, 90 percentage. Got the point? This is based on some research. The percentage was given. Okay, now any other question? Otherwise, we will go to a lesson plan, lesson format of a constructivist. Shall we go to that? Yes or no? Everybody is keeping silent. Shall we go to the next preparation of constructivist lesson?
Yes, ma. Please let's go to the next one.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
So this is a suggestive model of lesson plan. I thought you can see now the lesson plan. This is one suggestive model, a lesson based on constructivist approach. What is given here? The unit is resources, class 8, topic is natural resources, duration 60 minutes, approach to teaching learning, that is constructivist approach. Learning outcomes. Students will explain the term resources by giving examples. Nowadays, instead of learning objectives, we are using learning outcomes. What is the difference between learning outcomes and learning objectives? Any of you? Learning outcomes and learning objectives. Any of you can tell?
Madam, can you repeat your question?
Yeah, what is the difference between learning outcome and learning objectives?
So the LOs, the learning outcomes, are the the LOs are the bigger ones, and then the objectives. So the objectives is, for example, let me take example. Let's say at the end of the lesson, students will know about let's say diffusion or types of transport systems.
Okay.
Then the learning indicators, the learning outcome is that when a student is able to demonstrate or is able to tell the different types of or explain different kinds of transport system, then that becomes also the learning indicators.
Okay. So the example is correct. What I thought James has stated the example. Here, what is learning objective and learning outcome difference? Learning objectives is mostly teacher centered, whereas the learning outcomes are framed in terms of the student. And in learning outcome, we can see the action verb, the content, and the condition. But in learning objectives, when I am writing this in learning objectives, it will come, students will explain the term resources. That is learning objective. But when I give a condition, a context, that will become learning outcome. Then classify the various type of resources in the ecosystem, categorize the types of natural resources that exist in our surroundings. Now, what are the materials needed? Images of natural and human resources, Google worksheet. Prerequisite. The students are already familiar with the various resources existing in the surroundings. Now you can see stage 1, engage, that is group work. Here the group work, the teacher divides the students into 2 groups and asks them to go around the school campus and identify the various resources available in their school surroundings. Afterwards, the leaders of both the groups read out what their groups have identified and write them on the smart board. Both the groups discuss about their observation and summarize about the resources that exist in the school campus. This is the first stage, engage. Coming to the stage 2, explore, there only the teacher is introducing the topic. Based on the discussion, the teacher narrates a situation thus. Annie, a class teacher of class 8, tells students to clean their classroom and outside premises as part of the inauguration of Social Science Club. The class is divided into 4 groups and start the cleaning process. 2 groups clean the classroom and veranda, and the other 2 clean the school premises. All the group collect a lot of waste materials like paper, plastic bottles, plastic covers, etc., and throw it into the garbage area. After coming to the class, the teacher appreciates each group and says that whatever you throw into the garbage area, they are valuable objects. So the question comes, why are they important? So the response is, these are imaginary names only. Chandrasekhar replied that they are resources. Devi raised the doubt, what is a resource? Meena asked, how could empty plastic bottles can become a resource? For Ravi's doubt, the teacher replied that anything that can be used to satisfy a need is a resource. Then the teacher took 2 10 rupee currency notes and squeezed 1 currency note. She asked the class, among these 2 currency notes, which one do you prefer? The class replied, both. The teacher asked, why? Tina replied that both notes have value even though one is squeezed. The teacher states that things become resources only when they have a value. There comes the announcement of the topic. After having the above discussion with the learners, the teacher announces that today let us discuss and learn about types of natural resources. Then comes stage 3, explain, presentation. Next, the teacher shows the following 2 images related with the types of resources. The first image is this one, image A, and the second image is this one. So, based on these pictures, the teacher asked the following questions. Teacher activities and learner activities. What do you observe in the images? So, image A includes the sun, lake, fishes, tree, birds, boat, tortoise, water, etc. Whereas in image B, there are building, car, human beings, etc. Next, how are buildings and car different from birds and animals? Building is constructed by human beings and cars are produced by human beings, whereas birds and animals are part of nature. These are the responses of the students. We are supposing that the students will give such responses. How do you classify these 2 types of resources on the basis of your observation? Natural resources and human resources. The student then summarizes that resources can be classified into natural, human-made, and human resources. Then comes stage 4, extend, activity 1, providing think skill activity. So for every activity, you can give a name for the activity. Here I have given providing think skill activity. The teacher writes the following words on the smart board: dark soil, high speed wind, minerals, animals, solar energy, petroleum, air, iron ore. Then the teacher divides the class into 4 groups and asks them to find out under which category of resources the above mentioned words belong to. He or she observes each group and notes down the contribution of each student in her diary. He or she noticed that all the groups have agreed upon the point that all the words come under natural resources. Then he or she asked the students to find out the difference between each natural resource. The groups noted thus: the quantity of petroleum is less, the quantity of all minerals are unknown, air is available everywhere except animals, all others are non-living resources. Solar energy is available unlimitedly, iron ore can be seen in some places only. Good. All of you have written some relevant points. Let us discuss in detail about the classification of resources. Based on the students' findings, the teacher states that natural resources are classified into different groups based on the level of development and use, origin, stock, and distribution. On the basis of development and use, resources are classified into actual and potential resources. Actual resources are those resources whose quantity is known, whereas potential resources are those whose entire quantity may not be known and sometimes are not in use at present. The teacher asked the students to point out the actual resources and potential resources from the words written on the smartboard. Students listed thus: actual resources, dark soil, iron ore; potential resources, high speed winds, were a potential resource 200 years ago, now it is an actual resource. The teacher then asked how animals are different from minerals. Students stated that animals come under living things, whereas minerals come under non-living things. The teacher adds that based on the origin of resources, it can be classified into abiotic and biotic resources. So the living things and non-living things is coming under abiotic and biotic. To add some more examples, the students listed thus: abiotic resources, that is non-living things, soil, rock, stones, etc. Biotic resources, plants, human beings, animals. Next, the teacher asked the students to find the difference between solar energy and natural gas. The students stated thus: solar energy is unlimited and it can be used again and again, whereas natural gas has a limited stock and it may get exhausted. The teacher then states that solar energy can be renewed and hence it is known as renewable resources, whereas natural gas cannot be renewed easily, hence it is known as non-renewable resources. The teacher states that for some resources you have noted that they are available in some places, whereas others are seen in particular places. On what basis this difference will happen? Student: on the basis of distribution. Teacher: good. On the basis of the distribution, resources can be ubiquitous or localized. Resources that are found everywhere are ubiquitous resources, and those found in certain places are called localized resources. Next, activity 2, filling the worksheet. The following worksheet are given to each student to work on. Identify the picture and find out the raw material resource of each one. Categorize each natural resource according to their types under different columns. So the pictures are this one. Can anybody tell what is the natural resource of this juice? What is the raw natural resource of this picture? Any of you?
Orange.
Orange. Correct answer. Correct answer. Next, what is the natural resource of this?
Wheat.
Wheat or maida. Next, what is the natural resource of this?
It is not clear.
No. Coal. This is a picture of coal mine. So coal is the natural resource. So what is the natural resource of this?
Wind.
Wind. Correct answer. Who has stated wind? Name. Who has stated wind?
Wind.
Who has tell the answer? Name the person. James. Who has stated the answer wind? Okay, very good answer. Next, what is this? Natural resource of this figure. Any of you? Natural resource of this. This is solar energy.
The sun.
Yeah.
The sun is a natural resource.
Yeah, with the solar energy, it is working. Next,
Sunlight.
you can see the questions. The questions are reflective questions, not simply a recalling type. Distinguish between natural resources and human-made resources based on the following aspects. The aspects are pollution, reuse, sustainability. These are the aspects. So, based on these aspects, the students have to write natural resources and human-made resources. This is another activity. Then comes mute, some sound is coming, mute. Then recapitulation. The students summarize the concept of resources and its various types. They classify various types of natural resources. Next comes, who is not muted? Mohammed Misa, kindly mute. Mohammed Misa, kindly
Yeah.
mute. Kindly mute
Okay.
your. So, stage
Okay.
5, evaluate. That is reflective questions and activities. So the question should be in the reflective form. With examples, categorize various types of natural resources. Prepare a poster related to World Earth Day. Go to your nearby locality and find out the natural and human-made resources. Conduct a talk in your class on care our environment and protect our environment. Next, think of a few renewable resources and write in your journal how their stock may be get affected by overuse. Next, according to you, which resources are more important, natural resources or human resources? Why do you think so? So these are the questions were given. This is not a recalling type. It needs deep understanding. So it is a kind of reflective questions and activities. So this is all about the lesson plan of constructivist approach. Any doubt on this? You have to prepare one lesson plan. You can prepare in group or individually. In what way you are liking to prepare? I will share the lesson plan to Jagadamba sir. He will distribute to you. In what way you are liking to write the lesson plan? In group or in individually? Tell me.
I would like to do it in group.
Group. So you have to find the group. In one group,
Yes.
as the number of students are less, you can include 3 students in one group. 3 students in one group. You have to
Okay.
find in the lesson plan, you have to write the names of the students, then write the lesson plan also. Okay. Anything else, Anas?
No, it's okay.
Okay. So any doubt on this constructivist individual? Okay. Austin is liking to write individually. Okay. Then you mail to my email ID your lesson plan. Okay. I will give you 3-4 days. Within that days, you have to mail the lesson plan. Now, you can note down the email ID of myself. I will give the email ID. You can note down. Melissa Kurivela @ igno.ac.in. So, this is the email ID. You have to mail in that email ID the lesson plan. I thought everybody has noted the email ID.
No.
Yeah.
The email ID. The email ID. So,
Yeah, email ID in the chat box I have given. Email ID in the chat box. Here. You can note down. You write the lesson plan. I will share the format of this lesson plan. And Jagadamba sir will put it in the WhatsApp group. Then you can prepare a lesson plan based on this. Okay. Any doubt on this constructivist approach or lesson plan?
No doubt, ma'am.
Yeah.
No doubt, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. So, which approach you are following in your classroom in the present situation? Behaviorist approach. Which approach are you following in the classroom?
Madam, in the classroom,
Ah,
normally it depends on the type of lesson that you are trying to
okay.
deliver.
Okay.
Sometimes you go the behaviorist, sometimes you go the constructive approach. So,
Okay.
example is when you are trying to give a student a theory, like normally
Okay.
in sciences, where the students have never encountered before. You try
Okay.
to go by lecture, but
Okay.
after giving them the theory, you want them to investigate. Then they go the constructive approach, where you put them into groups. They try activities to verify certain law or certain principle or theory that you have actually taught.
Okay.
So
Good.
it's normally varies. Thank you.
Okay. So we have finished the first session. I am going to wind up by 5 or 5:30 like that. I will wind up. 5 o'clock I will wind up. Then you can prepare your activity. So that only I am winding up early. So next session deals with managing teaching learning aids. How would you deal with managing teaching learning aids? In MA 006, you have studied about how to manage the teaching learning aids. So here we can see that just a recollection of what we learned. Okay, learning aids, teaching learning aids. I request Dimin Kao. Some person is there. Dimin, can you read? Dimin? Dimin, kindly read this one. Are you there, Dimin? Okay, then I request Suleiman to read this one. Suleiman?
Okay, ma.
Yeah.
That one, a learning aid is used by a teacher to help learner to improve his or her learning and other skills, illustrate or impose a skill, fact or idea.
Okay.
Two, learning aid helps the teacher to make learning more concrete, effective, interesting, inspirational, meaningful, and vivid.
Okay. So we can see that the learning aid, it is to help the learner to retain the learned facts. So in order to make learning more effective and interesting, we are using learning aids. So there is a statement regarding the use of learning aids. I request Ola to read this statement. Ola, Ola, or Muhammad Vyas, Muhammad, or Austin,
I'm here.
Austin. Ah, who is
One
reading?
percent of what is learned.
Ah,
Muhammad.
Muhammad, you read. Okay.
Okay. 1% of what is learned is from the sense of taste.
Ah,
1.5% of what is learned is from the sense of touch. 3.5% of what is learned is from the sense of smell. 11% of what is learned is from the sense of hearing, while 83% of what is learned is from the sense of sight.
so what is important is the sight. When we can see
Yes.
the particular object, that will give 83 percentage. And another statement, Austin, can you read this statement? Austin?
The statement says that I hear, I forget. I see, I remember. I do, I understand.
Okay. So what is important? When we hear, we will forget after some time. When we see, we will remember. And in order to understand, we have to do learning by doing. So this teaching aids, the basis of teaching aids, it is Edgar Dale's code of experience. So what is this Edgar Dale's code of experience? It is a visual model. It composed of 11 stages. That is from the concrete experiences at the bottom, then it comes to the more abstract, that is, reads to the highest of the core. Today, the arrangement in the cone is not based on its difficulty. The arrangement is not based on its difficulty, but rather based on abstraction and on the number of senses involved. So this is the cone of experiences. We can see that it is arranged from the concrete to the abstract. Concrete is direct purposeful experiences, contrived experiences, dramatized experiences, demonstration, field trips, exhibits, motion pictures, audio recordings and photos, pictures, visual symbols, text and verbal symbols. So low concrete to the abstract it is going. So the degree of abstraction is increasing when it goes at the peak. So here what we are teaching at the higher secondary level information. Then coming to the secondary level cognitive skills. Then at the primary level we are giving importance for motor skills and attitudes. This is the cone of experience. So Edgar Dale's cone of experience. Here I request Suleiman to read this part. This part. Suleiman?
Yes, ma.
Yeah.
People generally remember learning activities. 10% of what they read.
20% of
20% of what they hear, 30% of what they see, 50% of what they see and hear, 70% of what they say and write, 90% of what they do.
okay. So
Then
here,
read.
yeah, that thing you leave, I will call some other person.
10% of
90% of
what they read is read.
90% of what
Then
they
20% of what they hear is hear.
hear. Okay.
30% of what they see is view image, then watch videos.
Yes.
Then 50% of what they see and hear is attend exhibit
And watch
and
it.
sight.
Uh,
Then watch a demonstration. Then 70% of what they say and write is participate in hands-on workshops and design collaborative lessons. Then 90% of what they do is simulate, model, or experience a lesson, then design, perform a presentation, do the real thing.
so
Then
here, uh,
under read and hear, then
uh,
define, list, describe, explain. Under view image, watch videos, attend exhibit and site, then watch a demonstration is demonstrate, apply, practice. Then under participate in hands-on workshops, design collaborative lessons, uh, simulate, model or experience a lesson, design or perform a presentation, do the real thing is analyze, define, concrete, evaluate.
okay. So these are the learning outcomes. So you can see the lower learning outcome is coming at the top and the higher learning outcome is coming at the bottom. And this is the middle part. Next, the classification of learning aids, projected aids and the non-projected aids. Projected aids, I request Austin to read the projected aids. Austin? Austin?
Films,
Ah,
film strip,
ah,
overhead projector,
yes.
LCD, PPTs,
Ah,
slide,
slide.
projected aids.
These are the projected aids. Coming to the non-projected aids, I request Mohammed Elias to read. Non-projected aids. Are you there, Mohammed?
Muhammad Misa or Ilyasa.
Ah,
One,
non.
we have graphic aids,
Ah,
display board,
ah.
three-dimensional aids,
Audio aids.
audio aids.
These are
Yeah.
the non-projected aids. Now, when you look at the projected aids, when we categorize it as display board, graphic aids, three-dimensional aids, audio aids, you can see the display board, blackboard, bulletin board, flannel board, magnetic board, interactive whiteboard, and pegboard. Pegboard is used for hanging some keys or some important things. That is pegboard. Graphic aids, cartoon, diagrams, charts, flashcards, graphs, maps, photographs, pictures, posters. Three-dimensional models, diorama, specimens. Audio aids, radio, recordings, and mobile. Now, I am asking what type of aid is this? What is this? Who can say?
This is blackboard, non-graphic aid.
Blackboard, okay, or chalkboard. What is this?
Non-graphic aid.
This is?
Non-graphic.
No. Flannel board.
So
Flannel.
I said non-project.
Or we can say it as a bulletin board. This is bulletin board, some important news. What is this? This part? Who can say? These are pegboard, that is used to have some important things. This is pegboard. Next, this is smartboard. This is the flannel board, and this is a kind of the display board where we used to put notices. Coming to the three-dimensional aids, you can see that there are specimens, actual specimens, then the actual object, then with the thermocol we are making three-dimensional aids, and this is the diorama, what we used. That is this type of aid. So this is all about the different types of aids. So now the question comes, how will you prepare? What is the most important aid that a teacher used in classroom? Nowadays, with the introduction of computer, we are using an important aid in the classroom. What is that one? Any of you? Rimin Dako?
Projector.
Eh? Pardon? Austin?
Can you please repeat the
Projector.
question?
That is? I didn't get Rumin Thakur, what is the most important aid teachers used?
I said, can you repeat the question?
What is the most important aid that teachers used in the classroom due to the introduction of computer? Now I have used that aid. What is that aid? Any of you?
Here you
PowerPoint.
Computer.
PowerPoint presentation. So one activity that you have to develop a PowerPoint presentation in your classroom. So that thing, how you can develop PowerPoint in Google Slides. That thing I am going to explain. Any of you are using Google Slides? Any of you? Are you using Google Slides? Yes or no?
No.
Okay.
I am using, but I normally use it on my laptop. Currently, I'm using my phone to join, so I can't access it.
Okay. So now, for Google Slides, you have to go to your Gmail account. Go to this dot. There it is given slides. Click on slides. There you take the blank slide, and here you can develop. Suppose you are going to develop natural resources. Resources, you can add your name and everything. If you don't want, you can delete this part also. Select and delete. Next, for adding one more slide, go to this part, put enter. This part you have to touch on enter, another slide will come. If you want to add the title, types of resources. If you want to change the font size, select it, go to the format, text, or here is the format changing, Arial here. Here you will go for Comic Sans. You can change the font size. If you want to change the size of the font, you can select, go to this, put it add. You can see the types of resources are changing. Then if you want to include a video, you have to go to insert. This side you go insert, video, you click. You are going to search the video types of resources in YouTube. Okay. Types of resources. This is NCRT's class 10. So we can take this one, click on this. When you touch on this part, you can see insert is coming. Niche. To click on insert, so that the video will come here. Now you can play the video. Okay, this is one Hindi video only. Okay, so this is, in this way you can go for inserting the video. Next, if you want to insert some image, you also go to insert. Audio, if you want to include, audio में जाके, so the audio thing, insert audio. There is no audio taken from my side, but if you have taken an audio on your own, you can click on this and put insert, so that the audio also will come. Here you can give, listen to the audio. Then you can make the learner to listen the audio. This part you can delete, so that the learner will listen the audio. This is the audio part. Then if you want to view something, you can go to here. If you want to format something, you have to go to here. New slide, if you want to add, you can put new slide, so that new slide has come. Then the background, if you want to change, you can go to this background. There the color you can choose. You are taking green color, done, so that the color has changed. And then you can type whatever you want. Then some tools you can use also, that is voice type speaker notes, dictionary, something you can use. Extensions, here I have extended Pixtel. what is this Pixton extension? There, updated. So the Pixton is not coming. Now the Pixton, when you extended or include in your slide, you can see the Pixton will come. So in this way, the layout, if you want to change, which layout you want, the layout has changed here. And the theme, here the theme is there. If you go to this side, you can see the theme is changing for all the slides. So the theme has changed, the slide theme has changed. So this is the way that you can develop the Google Slides in a proper way. Then transition also you can give that fade or something like that. We will go to this. We want to give the transition this fade. We are putting play. Here you can see the fading and then the natural resources are coming. So this is the way that you can develop the Google slide. So what you have to do, you have to select any topic of your class and go for developing the Google slide. So this thing I am giving to you that you can develop the Google slide. Any doubt on this? Any doubt?
No, please.
Okay. So you try to develop the Google slide individually and then send to me in the email ID. Okay. So today,
Okay, ma'am.
pardon, James?
Okay.
Okay, okay. So now we have studied constructivist lesson plan and managing teaching learning aids. I am going to leave you. That doesn't mean that you have to sit still. You have to do the activity and send to me. So I am leaving you for this time. So Jagadamba sir is there, then I can tell you can do the activity by this time because the class is up to 6. I am leaving you to do the activity. That's why I am leaving you. Now I will call Jagadamba sir that what else? Because this ECP is an important aspect. So ECP, we have to attend. Without attending ECP, you cannot pass PGDSLM program. So that is important. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
We need the email again. Your email.
Eh? Sir, I have completed.
I didn't get
We
your
will do the activity then. Okay. Both sessions completed. Yes. So I will mail you also the activity so that you can put it in the WhatsApp group. Okay, I will mail you the activity. Okay, sir. By within 5 days, they will submit. Next week. So that date also you should give. Okay. No, lesson plan writing and Google slide. Okay, sir. Okay. Mohammed Misa, you tell your doubt.
Yeah, your mail. I didn't get it.
What is your doubt?
Your mail. I didn't get it.
I will mail you. I will give to Jagadamba sir. Sir will put the format of the lesson plan and the activity, the other activity also in the WhatsApp group. So that
the mail is in the incoming message.
So which are the groups? Whether you are doing in groups, you have to write whole name. If you are doing individually, you have to write your name and enrollment group. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Now, I am leaving you early because you have to do the activity. That's why I am leaving you early.
Madam, please, can we get a slice?
Yeah, slides I will give. Okay. Okay, then. You will get this recorded video and that will be uploaded. Okay. So now I will see whether Jagadamba sir wants to speak to you.
Okay.
Uh, Sir, do you want to speak to the learners? Yeah, enter. Now, okay. Okay.
Ma'am, is it today's session is I think finished from your side?
Yeah.
Okay. And as explained by ma'am, that
Ah,
all learners have been given one task and one questionnaire is given, and everybody will be submitting whatever has been assigned to you. And uh, you can submit it by email. I'll be sharing you the email of PGDSLM, so you can submit your activities by email. And since the last date of this ECP is 30th of April, then the next day will be the last date for submission of these activity report of the activity. That means uh, let it be on 30th April will be the last date to submit the activity. So all learner, please note that they have to complete the assigned activity. Some activities are assigned today and some activities will be assigned tomorrow, and on 28 and 30, 29 and 30 also, you will be given some small task or report related activities. So you will have to prepare and submit it by email. I will be providing you that email address on which you have to submit that. Is it clear? Anybody having any questions? Then they may ask here.
Clear. Thank you.
Please, Madam provided his email address. Madam provided